Good morning, everyone. Morning, morning. It is April 4th, right? Star Wars Day 2023. May the 4th be with you guys if you guys are Star Wars fans. But the main topic of conversation was what had happened yesterday with the Federal Reserve. So, yesterday we had an natural Fed meeting. We had the FOMC that started the day before, but yesterday we had a quarter of a percentage point decision that was made of a hike, right? This surprised no one. It was a unanimous decision, and this is what we were expecting realistically. But some of the surprise that came from this was a little more of a hawkish tone, where Jerome Powell did mention that there still is a banking crisis, right? It still remains to be contained. Inflation is also too high, and the labor demand is falling, but is still strong. So people did talk about pausing, but that wasn't necessarily the case this meeting. So no talks about a pause came into fruition from Jerome Powell in the last meeting that we had yesterday, and a lot of that, right, shaped up for a larger market sell as we pinned pretty much the whole session until about the end of the day. So Powell said his post-decision press conference, we feel like we're getting closer or maybe even there, but are prepared to do more if greater monetary policy restraint is warranted. So mentions of tighter credit conditions also caught attention of the market, and we saw a pretty large downside swing from that. So right now, as it stands, it's between 5 and 525 basis points in the June meeting, which comes out June 14th. There is right now a 96% chance that we do sustain as is. Now, there were talks about cuts into the end of the year. I don't necessarily think that is going to be much of a case realistically. I doubt that we see cuts to the end of the year, even though they are right now pricing them in. In today's news, we have EI natural gas inventories, then the Fed balance sheet later on in the day, but overall fairly subdued. Tomorrow is going to be a pretty big report as well, pre market. We have the NFP that comes out. And we will be trading that live with our room in the morning. Now, in terms of other news, there's not too much. I'm going to talk about how this market kind of shaped up yesterday and what's going on right now. Yesterday, we had a pretty sizable drop overall in the S&P 500 futures. This is the main thing that we were trading. A difficult, I would say, FOMC to trade. It wasn't very trendy, right? It was very range bound until about the last 50 minutes of the trading session. Right now, what we've seen is that prices gapped lower into the overnight session, right? Where we caught a nice little bid, right, holding around that 75 overnight. The last time we traded down into this level was not too long ago on April 26th, Wednesday. And we peaked down just below that 70 region before we started to see a rally in these markets. So we have to keep an eye out if we do see some sell side. 70, 40, 70, and 40, 63 are going to be major areas, and 40, 56 where we could see attempted dip buyers. But if there's going to be a real sell right now, what we're doing is we're in a new distribution block to the downside whose top end is about 4100, 4102. That's a huge gamma level on the market maker positioning where I would expect to see some kind of sell off from that region. If we come back up, right, 4105, I think is one of the last chance, and then 4116, 4118 is a huge resistance point. But if we start moving back above 4100 or so, I think that some of these bulls can take charge and we could catch a bid. Now, keep an eye on what's going on with tech, right? Tech is still a little stronger here. They're sustaining their prices a lot better. But I think if the sellers are going to come out, they're going to smack it right now into this 4100. They won't let it get past too much above 4105. And we're going to see that move into the 70 and maybe 63. That's if the sell side shows up strength. Now it's still a limbo, right? We've had overnight selling. We've had yesterday's selling. That doesn't necessarily mean that we should just continue with this bear. We have to be very cautious because bids can come in out of nowhere, especially during the RTH session when they deem that, hey, this market's a little oversold based on this smaller term and tech is still strong. So that's something that I caution you guys with. We have to watch around the pivot around that 4100 today. We'll be trading that live with our trading room this morning, and a fairly short update, right? Just shy of 5 minutes here. I hope everyone enjoyed this update, and I'll see you guys tomorrow to wrap up Friday. Hope everyone had an amazing trading day yesterday. Let's get ready for another good trading day. I think volume and more movement shall come out into the end of the week, especially with non-farms tomorrow morning pre-market that we're going to be trading with our team. So I'll see you guys there, and we'll chat soon. Thank you, and take care.